Hi, welcome back to the Spring Boot tutorial. In this video, we're going to discuss about the @bean annotation with an example. Again, this @bean annotation is not specific to Spring Boot. It is a part of the Spring framework. So let's understand with an example. So what is the purpose of @bean annotation? So @bean annotation is used to explicitly declare a single bean rather than letting Spring do it automatically. So it means it decouples the declaration of the bean from the class definition and lets you create and configure the beans exactly how we choose. Okay, so I know it's a weird statement. So let's understand with an simple words. So @bean annotation is a method level annotation. First of all, we're going to annotate this @bean annotation only to the methods, and we generally use it to configure the beans inside the Java code. If you are not using XML, then we are going to use it to configure the beans inside our Java code, and then we can call it from the class using the application context dot get bean method. So using the get bean method, we can get the bean from the application, from the Spring container. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of @bean annotation. Okay, so let's jump into our STS and create the Spring application, and let's use this @bean annotation. So I'm inside the STS. I have already created the project bean annotation, and if you expand the source main Java, we have a couple of packages: the configuration package, the entity package, and the service package. So let's first create the entity. So inside this, I'm going to create a field, private string name. Let's create the setters and getters. I'm also going to add the toString method. Okay, so now we have created the entity class, and let's go to the service. Let's create a user service, and inside this, I'm going to create a static field, private static list, and which is of type string, array list. It's not a string type, it's actually a user type. Let me import the list. We have imported this user from the entity package. That's fine. Let me create a static block. Inside the static block, let me create some objects. I think we need to create a parameterized constructor, so let's quickly create that. Let's add it to the list. So let me copy this and paste it 2 more times, and let me change the username to user2 and user3. And I'm also going to create a method, the getter method, to access the list. Public, this is going to return the user get list. Let me return the list. Alright, so let's save this, and now we're going to create a configuration class. I'm going to call this myconfig. Let me annotate this class with the add configuration annotation. Public, this is going to return the user service, get user. I'm going to annotate this with the add bean annotation. So we're going to use this annotation to get the bean. So the user service bean we are going to create, and we can provide optional elements, which is name. We can add the alias names as well. We can add any number of multiple alias names with a comma separated. I'm going to add my bean, my bean 2, and inside this let me return this, return new user service. So let's import @bean user service and configuration. So now we have created the configuration class, and all we need to do is we have to test our work. We have to create a main method. Inside the main method we have to get that bean. So there are many ways to get the bean. So first we need to get the context. So I'm going to use new annotation config application context, and we're going to pass the class name, and we're going to use the application context. I'm going to call this CTX, which is application context in short. This application context is an interface, and this annotation config application context is a standalone application. So let me import this. And now first let's get the bean by its type. So we can use ctx.getBean, and we're going to specify the class name, which is user service.class. We can print this to the console, printing user service use service. So let's save this now. Okay, if you want we can close this context as well, ctx.close. Okay, never mind, leave about that. So let's save this and let's start the application. We should get the user service. Okay, as you can see we are getting the user service. What I'll do is I'm going to call the get list. So let's save this and restart the application. We do get the list. You can see user 1, user 2, user 3. Okay, so there is one more way we can get the bean using the alias name. So let's try that out. Let me comment this and let's try for by its alias name. So ctx.getBean, we're going to provide the alias name. So if I go to the myconfig, these are the alias names. We can take any one of the alias name, like I'll take my bean. User service. Okay, so we have to typecast this to the user service. Let's save this and restart the application again. We should get the list. You can see user 1, user 2, user 3. Alright, this is all about the add bean annotation. I hope you understand the concept. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.